This one, this is the newest one. Shit is sick. Branch Warren, everybody gonna be there today.
Okay, shit.
Yeah, you know, Branch Warren, that's a veteran. But yeah, right after this. It starts at 1. Right after this.
You be moving. I swear, every time I see you, you're in a new gym.
Yo,
every single time I see you, you are in a new gym, bro. Like,
it's a must.
At one point, I'm like, yo, do you have stock in these gyms? Like, you actually like,
nah.
They're not giving you a little bread under the table or something. Like, what's happening out here?
You know what's crazy? Me doing these videos, I could tell you right now, there's 2 powerhouse owners.
Okay.
That are willing to pay me to come out and do an eventful event for anything that consists of like a fitness function or some type of competition that's going to draw the audience. He said, yo, I will pay you if you bring that energy to my gym. I said, okay, because when I did the powerhouse in Manhattan and they saw the shit I was doing,
right? Yeah, I was.
They were like, yo, all right.
How was that, by the way? Like that joint looked kind of.
Everybody, hockey move, champ, everybody.
Oh, shit.
Niggas was like, who the fuck is this dude?
I swear, I'm sure you walk into many gyms and that be the energy. Like, yo, who is this guy? Like, who is this guy that we don't know?
Because I'm the one with the smallest following.
Right. It's like, who's this guy that like he got a social media presence, but it's not as big as the others who got a social media presence, but he's out here kicking ass. Like,
right. So I'm the guy in the guy in the background. I always kind of kept that.
I was about to say you kind of like to play that role.
Yeah, and like. It's like the way I come in, like for an example, we did so Champ loved doing bench press competition, right? So he had the bench going on. They started with pound for pound who could do the most weight, right? 1 rep max.
Just 1 rep, okay.
So this African dude outside of Champ, he was strong as hell.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we get to 4. We go from 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4 plates. So Champ, he does 3 reps. He's only supposed to do 1.
Right. I was gonna say he tried it.
So the African kid, he does 1. He's sticking to the gun.
Smart.
I go and I hit 4.
Wild.
Right? Man. So everybody looking like, yo, because they came to see them, they don't know who I am.
Right.
So now he says, all right. So I noticed that when he couldn't go up anymore, Champ, because that's not where his strength really lies.
Right, right.
So then the young kid, he goes, yo, 455. He goes, he gets stuck, like almost at the top. He gets like right here, stuck. Boom.
Not at the
One
top
side
of the
starts leaning, they get it. I hit the 4, 455. Boom, boom.
I just casually hit the 4.
Right, and they're like, yo, who is this dude? So then Champ goes, all right, I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna go to reps. So he goes, yo, 225, who can do the most reps, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the top dude there got like 30.
But that's some combine
So
numbers.
I wasn't going to do that one because I was like, I already won the first one. I wasn't trying to do all of that.
Yeah.
So then Champ calls me out. Let me get 30. So I started laughing. So I do 34 just because.
Bro.
So Jay Cutler's like, yo, you could have did 40, 50 because I had no struggle whatsoever through the whole shit. He was like, yo, Jay Cutler was like, yo, my man, you're fucking strong as shit. I started laughing.
Yeah.
He's like, who are you, a competitor? Because everybody's like, yo, who are you?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just work out.
Bro, the first time I met you, I thought you were a strongman lifter, which I think we kind of confirmed that you were. You were into strongman competitions, powerlifting competitions.
Yes,
so I'm just like, okay, you did have that background, but it's just like, I don't see you do the regular competing that people do. They go to the competitions, they're wearing the squat suits and the bench suits.
Well, I mean, I wear that when we competing for sure. Because if I'm doing a powerlifting meet, that's a requirement.
That's a requirement, right.
So I do have my outfit for that. But I do a lot of the other stuff too, like all of the like little conventional competitions that they have where they have like who can do the most benching, and they'll just have it like randomly from like IG stars.
Okay.
Because they're the ones who usually throw those type of events. All these big IG dudes, right? That's how they make their little money, whatever, and it gives people notoriety. All right, cool. So I'll jump into those. Like that's kind of how I met like Shay and them. Okay. When I saw them on Instagram, this was back in like 2013.
I was going to say, when did those start? 2013-ish?
This was out 2013-ish, right?
Okay,
so
damn.
I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay, who is these niggas? They talking wild, crazy,
right.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We all
people talking spicy in that space. I
mean, we all young. I'm in my late 20s in 2013, right? So I'm with all this shit. So I'm strong as ever. I'm in my 20s. I'm like, yo, what's up? So 2 years later, somewhere around 2015, I go there by myself. I'm like, let me see what niggas is doing. So basically, whatever they did, I just did what they did plus more. So they were looking at me like, yo, who is this dude, right?
I did what they did plus more.
Right, because they was doing some numbers, right? They get to 4 plates, right? They was bitching 4 plates, and they was doing some reps. So I said, all right, I'm going to do 500. So I go under 5, no spot. Boom, 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 throw it back. They like, yo, who is this dude?
Bam.
So Unc, you know, when they call Unc, here's my boy Shay. They come over to me. He like, yo, I want to challenge you on some shit. So he started like adding shit to what I was already doing.
Right.
Then we kind of like bug out, and they notice like, yo, this nigga's stronger than everybody in here. And then like that's where I got my respect from. Like I never battled with Shay. Mm-hmm. He just kind of like played the background. I didn't even know he was as strong as he was, because he's a strong motherfucker.
Yeah, indeed.
Shay's strong as fuck, man.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? So the other guys, it was like they have the big look, but they're not as strong. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit like, I don't want to sound cocky, but it was easy.
Yeah, and it's funny because every time I see you in one of those spaces, it's one of those things where you look like you always fit in. It looked like you're, and not even just fit in, but it looks like you are the person kind of leading the charge in these spaces where it's like, you know, he's one of the top 3 strongest people in this building, no matter where he is.
Yeah,
and to me, that is one of those kind of odes to like, yo, especially within fitness. That's one of those odes 100%. Where it's like, yo, you already know, how I give it up. Like, you already know that I'm real in this space.
Because aesthetically, I feel like it's challenging. There's so many great looking guys aesthetically. Yeah. Man. Like some dudes just got magnificent genetics, right? Mm-hmm. I would say I got good genetics, but I see people with greater genetics.
Indeed.
And I'm like, okay.
And for somebody like you to say that, who I'm sure people look at you like, yo, you have one of the best physiques I've ever seen. Right. For you to be saying something like this, that's some real talk.
Because I see the best bodies, you know what I mean? Traveling around to all this other fitness stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll travel as far as fucking Atlanta, Florida, all that. I travel all over the East Coast seeing these fitness events. Yeah. And there's people that don't even have major followings, but they have crazy aesthetic looks that nobody even know who they are. Right. So when you see these people, you like, yo, this shit is crazy when it comes to aesthetic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how can I stand out? And power was something that I had naturally. You know, that's like a God's given gift that I've always had. I can't even say I really like worked for it. Everything from that strength era kind of came naturally. So as long as I worked on it, my strength just kept increasing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then when I got on fucking enhancements, it was over.
The sauce.
It's game over. You know, it was a wrap after that.
Nah, I feel you.
So now it's like I could compete with everybody at this point. That's how I feel, right? I'm like, fuck it. I'm
and
like,
again, that's funny. That's no cocky shit. Right. That's just like that's the reality of the situation, and that's right. That's just straight competitiveness. So
I'm like, yo, I gotta go crazy now. This is it. I put this shit in my body. I gotta make do with it. I can't just put it in my body for no reason. So now I'm going into these competitions and I'm noticing like guys with the craziest looks don't really possess a lot of strength. Yeah. So I'm beating more guys than I even thought in my mind I could beat when it comes to these compound movements.
And it's funny, that's why you don't judge a book by its cover. It's like, as corny as that sounds.
Guys with humongous legs, like one leg is like this, and I'm out swatting them, and I'm like, well, how the fuck is that
How's he doing that?
Right? Because I'm looking at the guy with legs that's twice the size as mine. I'm like, there's no way in the world I'm going to beat this guy. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to give it a try anyway.
And until y'all get under the bar.
And then I beat the motherfucker. I'm like, yo, this is it.
Get under the bar,
and then everybody would always go, yo, who is that guy? And I would just disappear, bro. I would just disappear.
There's Batman out here.
Like, I'm going after that. It's over. I'm done.
Hey, yo, what yeah. That's it. This guy is Batman.
So we sounding good? We sounding good
so far? We sounded great. So we going to get right into it. Okay. What's going on? This is your boy, Johnny Dubs, and you are now tuned in to Real Talk from the Rack, where life meets the lift. So let's get into it. And you are now tuned into something brand new. This is my new format for Real Talk from the Rack, and this is my first guest. And it's only right that I bring my boy LogicalSense back to the building. Give it up for my boy out here, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Give it up for my boy. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, King.
100%.
We got a lot to get into.
Yes, sir.
Y'all gonna see some of the pre-show banter because it was a lot, and we talked some good stuff, but you know, I got a whole bunch of questions for you, and we're gonna expound on the last time that you and I linked up. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And this is Real Talk from the Rack. So, like I said, this is where real life, and you talk a lot about real life. Yeah. If for anybody that follows him, he talks a lot about real life, things that we actually go through, things that are very controversial that you typically wouldn't want to touch on. But guess what? This man shies away from nothing, literally nothing. Man. So it's only right that we bring him to a format, to a template like Real Talk from the Rack, where we like that type of transparency, we like that type of forwardness. So, brother man, for the people that don't know you, tell them who LogicalSense is behind the camera.
Okay. Behind the camera, I live my life very privately. Social media is an illusion. So you could show people what you want them to know.
Indeed.
You could show them what you want them to see, and you leave them to their own thoughts of who they think you are, right? But behind the scenes, I live like a very, very, like I have a lot of old school ways. You know, I'm not into like a lot of things that people would normally be into at my age, which is like I see a lot of people traveling, outings, parties, events, functions. I feel like people my age are trying to reverse their age. They want to live like they're still in their 20s. Yeah.
I mean, the motto is sometimes, 40 looking 30, or
right.
40 is the new 30, all of that.
But you know what? Here's the thing, right? Aging is inevitable.
True.
I feel like years ago when we were younger, age was an acceptance, whereas now people don't want to accept their age and they find themselves competing with the younger group. I feel like as you age, you're supposed to be the role model, the influence of living better as you grow and you age. It's not supposed to be matching up with the younger crowd who's still trying to develop. And I feel like because people don't accept their age, the younger groups don't have nobody to really look up to, so they got to form their own role modeling, which they shouldn't have to do.
Damn, that's real. You was taking it somewhere I ain't want to go yet, but that's some real talk. I'm not gonna lie.
You gotta live your age, man. We all got our time, bro. And when your time passed, if you wasted it, that's on you. You can't try to reverse it because you can't reverse age.
Very true. So let me ask about the name LogicalSense.
Yes.
Where did that come from? What's the origin of that?
Okay, so as a kid in the projects, I grew up in the Bronx in the projects over there by Patterson Projects. I was born in Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx.
Okay.
So as a kid, I would always find myself being able to hold conversations with people who were much older than me for some odd reason. And I would always hear people say, yo, you got an old soul to be so young, right? And as I would continuously hear that, when I would talk, they would be like, yo, this kid always trying to make sense. Yo,
like that's a bad thing.
Every time this young kid talk, he talking like he's behind his years. And they was like, yo, let's call him Baby Logic.
Baby Logic.
And it started with Baby Logic. And then as I got older, everybody started saying, yo, that's Logic right there. And then it was like, yo, this dude always talking some logical sense madness. And then one day I was like, all right, I'm going to just stick to that then. And that's pretty much how that name formed from the street. You know, people kind of like saying it so much that I just was like, all right, I'm going to stick with it.
And this old soul that you keep referring to, where did that come from? Where did that develop? Is that through family? Is that through music? Is that through entertainment?
Honestly,
what is that through?
Honestly speaking, and when I say this, I don't want people to think like I'm some like pastor or something of that nature, because we all know.
I like the hoodie.
Look, yeah, thank you. We all know I live very sinfully, but you know the goal is to one day reshape my life in a way that's pleasing to God. Right?
Always. Amen to that.
God played the major role. God played the major role in that.
Okay.
To be honest with you, well, I feel like the development of that came from within. I don't think that had anything to do with me because I couldn't even understand it when it was happening. I was too young to understand it.
Okay.
But I think that God knew I was going to face some real trials and tribulations of life. And I think that he made me of what I felt at a young age, this oddball, because I couldn't get along with my peers. Because we were never on the same frequency. The things that they were into, I found to be stupid. And the things I was into, they felt like, what are you talking about?
Right. Like, why is he on
so
that?
Awkward.
Right.
You an awkward kid. So I was the kid that wasn't cool. I was the kid that, you know, my family, we were very poor, so we couldn't afford nothing. So I had all the Payless outfits and sneakers. So I had no popularity at school, you know, so I dealt with bullying. And then my stepfather started me with training with fighting and training with working out.
Okay.
So working out for me started with, you know, being stronger to be able to defend myself. And I grew my respect, believe it or not, on the streets of popularity through fist fighting.
I mean, there's not. It's funny you say that because that is not an uncommon story.
Yes,
it's not really an uncommon story.
It's not. But that's how it went. That's how it went. And I started to build a lot of credibility being a guy who knew how to fight.
And see, it usually stems from that, and it's like people don't want to tell that origin because you have to tell the part where it's like, "Hey, I used to get beat up," and people don't like to tell that part.
I mean, come on,
that's the part they want to skip.
Nobody.
They just want to be like, "Yo, I got hands."
Nobody's born to be sick with it at fighting when you don't even understand what fighting is, right? So at some point, many of us are bullied. We don't like to talk about it, but the reason why we start to do a lot of things when it comes to fitness or, you know, any type of mixed martial art training or anything of that nature is because of something that we might have been going through that consists of some sense of bullying. And that's where it started. And then after that, I was putting them bullies to sleep.
Talk about it.
Absolutely.
Putting them to sleep.
Absolutely.
So again, a lot of people that follow this platform, they might see you and know you from a lot of the content that you put out.
Right.
And for me, I want to know, when is it that you looked at the camera and started thinking, you know, my story is kind of something that needs to be told, and my viewpoint is something that kind of needs to, you know, be put out there.
Okay.
Tell me the background story and kind of how that came about and what shaped your thinking into getting your message out there.
I mean, I would say in the beginning, for me, it started in school. I've My stepfather taught me never to fear man. You know, God rest his soul. He's not alive today. I wish he was.
Condolences.
But he was one of those people who always told me, like, you got to stand for what you believe. We live in a world where people are quick to join the masses out of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being stood out, fear of, you know, kind of like just having everybody not like you. He was like, you know, in life, you can't worry about those things. So that kind of was embedded in me from childhood. So when I became an adult and I felt like, you know, I'm strong enough to defend myself physically, I began to say, you know, I'm going to say whatever I feel. And if nobody likes me, so be it. Because in order to be a lead of something, you can't fear what can happen. Because I look at life like, you know, death come to us all.
Mm-hmm.
We all going to die one day. You can't live forever. So if you're going to die, die with a purpose. Make sure it's meaningful. Die for something that comes with a cause. Don't just be another person here following the masses to try to be cool, to try to be in with the end. Because nobody, as much as people do that, to have favoritism, to be honest with you, is the people that you're favoring or you're looking for favor from don't even like you, to be honest anyway. So,
ooh, that's a truth bomb right there.
trying
Let's
to please
talk about
people
it.
is the
Let's
worst thing
talk
you could
about
ever do. Because once you live in the opinions of others, you're a slave to their thoughts. So I don't care what nobody think. You like me, you like me. You don't, you don't. It is what it is.
Say less. Kind of want to get into a bit more of your philosophy. You talk a lot about accountability, dating, manhood, things of that nature when it comes to the content that you put out there. Where did those views come from? Because especially in these modern times, a lot of what I just said, these are very hot topic, very hot push button talking points. And it seems like anybody who has an opinion, they either get praised or they get bombarded with hate.
Yes, absolutely.
And that right there provides a dichotomy where people really are scared and people really hold their tongue.
Yeah.
But you say what you say very shamelessly and just very unapologetically. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. Just,
no.
But just
I
the way
appreciate
you
it.
say it, it just comes across like,
To
yo,
me, it's a
like you
compliment.
said, I really don't care what people think.
No.
You have to debate me to push me off my pivot.
100%.
Where did that come from?
It goes a little bit back to what I said. Just don't be in fear of people, man. Here's the thing. Behind the camera, I always have these kind of discussions. So these discussions, they're like second nature to me, right? So when I'm talking to people and we're having discussions based on relationship, religion, whatever it is, I pretty much say things straightforward. And my delivery, people hate.
It's always the tone. It's always the tone that people start off hating. It's usually
Right.
not you. It's usually something.
Right. But
within
I
the
was
message.
raised to learn to understand that you got to listen to the message, not necessarily the sound, right? Because growing up in and this is real, when you grow up in black household, the black people are loud. Like, that's just my opinion. I've never seen black quiet people.
Hey, I'm Jamaican. You already know how we give it up.
Yeah, right. So they're loud, they speak loud. I think black people just have a natural aggression to them. So to me, the sound of how a person may come off don't really get to me. I really just get more in tune to what they're actually saying. But we live in a time now where everything's hypersensitive.
Very.
So you can say a paragraph, and if there's one word in that paragraph that they don't like, they'll stick to the word versus the paragraph. So if I wasted my time trying to appease everybody's emotions, I wouldn't be able to say anything.
And it's funny because when you talk about tone is often where people get the message misinterpreted. But also, you have a message that kind of mixes the gym and also mixes life.
Right.
Where do you think people misinterpret what you're trying to say within those two things?
I don't think that I get the misinterpretation when it comes to gym and life. I think I get more misinterpretation when it comes to life itself. You know, from anything that I speak about, whether it's politics, whether it's, like I said, religion,
Hmm.
relationships. People come to me about these things often. Um, relationship part is very, very touchy because I, I I go hard with the ladies and they get so mad at me.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. And ladies,
Like,
we love you. Ladies, we
yeah,
love you.
we love you. We love
Like,
you,
you
ladies.
gotta understand, we love you.
But you know what it is? I feel like, and a lot of women may not agree with this, but as men, we know that to be true. I could sit in a room amongst men, and even if there's 5 of them, let's say out of 20 men that really have a hard time being accountable, 15 guys is gonna have no problem being accountable to each other. And then that will automatically make those 5 form in. You go into the room with 20 women, you may have 2 out of 20 who feel a need to be accountable. The other 18 is going to rip those 2 apart for even trying to be accountable. So this is a very rough spot when you go to the ladies, because I don't know what it is, but for a woman to say sorry, I'm wrong, is almost like pulling teeth.
It's a very tough pill to
It's a
swallow.
very
at times.
tough position.
Not all women. Not all.
And I don't know why this is such a tough space, because what does it do to you to say, yeah, I'm wrong? Like, what is it? Why does it bother you that much? I mean, if I do something wrong, even if I feel like I wasn't wrong, but it bothered you, right? And it's something that you really felt it was crazy. Like, I don't mind saying, you know what, I apologize if that really bothered you. That wasn't my intent, and explaining to you what I meant by it. But for some odd reason, it's like, I think that sometimes a lot of women, and I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women have so much trauma that they look at men like the enemy. So whatever you say is automatic offense, instead of it being like, he's trying to teach me something. So
Ooh.
what I'm gonna do is
Ooh.
I'm gonna keep knocking at their head until somebody says, I see where you're going with this.
And that right there is probably what they don't like.
No.
Is to keep knocking on the head.
Yes.
Because we're, like you said, we're in a space where things are very sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you really can't speak your mind without, fear of cancellation and
Right.
things of that nature.
Right.
But when you stand on your square and you kind of are, not moving on the sense that, hey, this right here, what I'm saying is not to create tension. This is a teachable moment.
Right. But
And I
hold
think
on.
that's
I want to say this.
Oh, please do.
Not to stop
Oh,
you,
no, go ahead.
because this is very important, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would notice, remember back when Kevin was alive, God rest his soul, Kevin Samuels.
Indeed.
One of the biggest
Godfather.
things people would say is, especially women, and again, ladies, we love you, no problem, I don't want no smoke, is oh, he had 2 failed marriages and X, Y, and Z. So my question to the ladies would be, well, if a person was perfect, then what would they be able to tell you? A perfect person can't tell you trials or tribulations because they never went through it. So then that means the person who had the most failures is the one that could give you some of the best guidance, because they've been there.
Through it, yeah.
They failed at it. They seen where it went wrong, and they could tell you how to make the proper decisions without you wasting years of your life for trying to figure it out.
And then sometimes, not often, but
Right.
some women will look at the married woman
Mhm.
and kind of frown upon how she got into her situation. Oh, she's not truly happy. She has to answer to somebody, And then this is kind of something we actually touched on a previous platform, where there was a conversation between who's happier, single men or single women. And
right.
I think you said single women are
Single
happier.
women are happy, yes.
But do you still, with everything you just said, do you still believe that?
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting.
Because women are very, not all women, because you got to say all, because they ready to
Indeed,
fight.
indeed, yes.
Right?
We always make the distinction, because it's
Right.
not all. We do not generalize around
Right,
here.
right. But I would say most women, they have this negative thought process when they get into a relationship. I don't know if if you ever talk with your homegirls, you listen to them talk, they always thinking about what could go wrong.
Oh, I love my homegirls. I be giving it to them straight too.
Right.
They know me.
They
I
never
love y'all.
talk about like positive ends. They always talk about the escape plan. Like, yo, if this doesn't work out, like, bing, bing, boom, 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 bing. Like, even if they meet a guy who could provide for them, they're still like, yeah, I got to make sure I got my own, because if he leaves, it's like, it's always
Very
if he
true.
leaves, if it doesn't work, if we break up. And the reality is that even though women say that, they're the ones who are the initiators of separation, which is a contradiction to it all.
Mm.
So I think that for a lot of women, there's a lot of pain that needs to be rectified.
Very true.
Because I feel like as a culture, we're all in pain. So we all have to try to do the healing in order to get better with each other.
Yes.
But the first hardest part of this that's going to lead to anything being possibly fixed is to get into those hard areas, and accountability is the
Accountability.
hardest.
That's all
the
it is,
hardest.
brother, man. That's all it is. I understand. And again, we're not here to try to push an agenda.
No.
We're not here trying to push a narrative. This is just real talk because, like you said, the fact of the matter is we need to be on the same page.
Yes.
Things are not going to get better if we just keep going back and forth and telling each other what's wrong about the other
Yes.
side. If we are not going to have these real tough, transparent conversations, nothing is going to be accomplished.
And I think another problem is, just to touch this real quick, is that you got to be careful of the company you keep.
Indeed.
If you're talking to people that's always talking about being by yourself, you could do better by yourself, you don't need nobody, X, Y, and Z, you're going to always be single. And I don't care whether you're a man or a woman.
Man, I was going to say that works for both. That works for both sides. Yep.
If this is your audience, just know that you want to stay single, because they're never going to be happy for anything that you have as far as any unity, because they don't have it. And misery loves company. So if I'm in bad position, I want you to be in a bad position with me, so we could kind of like sing in harmony together. And that's just as real as it gets. It's like,
we could sing in harmony together.
Listen, you know,
it's crazy.
I'm telling you. You ever seen the bitter audience? Like, you know, yo, my boy is the only one that got my back. Yo, F these girls.
I hate those kind of dudes,
my homegirls
man.
is the only ones that got my back. F these dudes. It's like, y'all all bitter y'all all bitter people. All of y'all hurt. Y'all just bitter. Y'all mad.
Everybody is.
And instead of y'all
hurt.
do some healing and get it together, y'all rather destroy every possible relationship that could be something great.
Let me ask, because
Yeah.
this is called Real Talk from the Rack. What is your definition of real? And that's just across all boards. What is your definition of real?
Okay, I love that question. The definition of real is being able to say it how it is without the thought of how it's going to affect somebody else. How else could you be authentic if you're worried about what they're going to feel like? You're never going to be honest. It's like, ladies, hi. Don't get mad at me when I say this.
The way he just looked into the camera right now is the funniest shit.
Women lie to each other every day. Let's look at it like this, right?
Ooh.
Let's say it's a big girl. She puts on a particular outfit that we know don't look good on her. Her female friends will tell her, you're beautiful, you look great, knowing she look horrible, right? And this is what I mean. They're so in tune to how the person may feel that being real is almost like obsolete. Right? Your boy is going to tell you, fam, take that off. That look crazy. Do not go outside with that on.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
like, it's like when I see my ladies, I see a group of people who are so accustomed to lying that they almost believe that it's the truth because it's such a second nature to lie. And then the contradiction in that is that men lie. That's something special, I tell you.
That's something special.
You know, I love y'all, but y'all be tweaking, man. Y'all be tweaking.
That's something
All
special.
men do is lie and cheat, and you watch them lie to each other as friends and family members. It's like, if you could lie to yourself, you could lie to anybody.
Very true.
So being real is being authentic and not really putting so much emphasis on what people feel like when you speak your truth. Because you're not saying it to attack people, you're saying it to be as honest as possible. And honesty does not have a coddling moment, because it's usually something that we don't want to hear, but it's often something that we need to hear.
All right. You know what? From there, because that's kind of like a perfect segue into kind of like your coaching. So I want to talk about your coaching. We touched on it a little bit. You know, you're a fitness coach. You're a life coach. You know, you coach from many different vantage points. And we're also in an era where when it comes to coaching, there's a lot of frauds. There's a lot of fool's gold out there that you have to sift through in order to get the proper coaching that you need to make the proper gains and transformation and make it kind of worth your while.
Right.
So how do you feel about this coaching era where everything is kind of about quick fixes? I can get you to look this way in 10 weeks, where somebody like you who's been in the game, you know, something like that is not an impossibility, but you know, for the average person, that is really not feasible. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that what we see now is somebody will work out, get in shape within a year's time, who may have good genetics or decent genetics, and then for some odd reason feel like they could help the world. And the reality is they don't really care to help the world. They just think that fitness is easy money. That's really what it is, right? They see so many other people doing it, they feel like they can mimic it. And then what happens is down the line, they end up realizing that it's not that simple, and they end up going to get a job somewhere outside of fitness. But that messes up the industry, because now you're kind of like hurting people who put their trust into trainers, right?
Right.
Because
right.
when you have a person coming to you, they're trusting that what you're going to teach them is actually going to guide them in the right direction, and that they're actually going to get where they're trying to go. So I think that when you're talking to people, one, you need to understand that everybody's not genetically gifted the same way.
Very true.
Right?
Yep.
You need to understand that maybe somebody who's mesomorph, they might have a greater chance of building muscle overnight versus somebody who might be an endomorph or an ectomorph, where one is struggling to lose weight and the other one is struggling to gain weight. So how do you coach those people if you don't know what that's like? You haven't even done the study and to even learn how to master that avenue, because most people are battling with obesity. So if you've been athletically built your whole life, or let's just say you were somebody who was heavy, you're young, and you lose a few pounds, now you think you're an expert, is the crazy part, because now you're selling like false information.
And that's
which
a lot of that
kills the
going
industry.
on.
Yes. So now people are more skeptical. Why should I hire you as a coach? What makes you different from the rest? When I get clients, I tell them, listen, take 1 year at a time. People don't have patience. Show yourself grace. Give yourself time. Let your body develop through that year. Learn the steps. Learn what it takes to learn how your body operates and how your body responds to different foods and training in order to get to that next goal. And the problem is that everybody want it overnight, and that's not how it works, man. You know, you can have a great body in 1 year's time. Because let's be real, if you live in New York, you're just trying to get from one summer to the next anyway. Right? I'm just saying, right?
Yo, we love getting in shape for the summer. We need that summer body, man.
Right, you know
we
what I
need
mean?
that summer body, bro.
Going hard in the winter, by the time the summer comes, you can have a nice structure. You won't look like some of the people you idolize, but you can look a lot better than what you do currently.
True.
You know?
And kind of piggybacking off of that, when we look at a lot of these coaches and just social media influencers, and I don't want to name drop, but let me name drop because we see them. We spot a lot of them. There's Greg Doucette, there's Mike Israel, there's Jeff Nippard.
Yeah.
There's people within that space of just giving information, fitness information, life information. And with that, there's a lot of posturing, so to speak. How do you kind of define authenticity in this space of giving, like you just said, giving knowledge and giving knowledge that you, like you said, you want that to be long lasting, at least for a good coach. You want that to kind of travel through life and not just be the next thing that you're going to do for the next couple months and then forget about it.
Okay. That's going to seem almost impossible in this day and time.
Oh, shit.
Because the people
That's
focus,
real.
Nah, it's real. People are so focused on money that they don't care about the client. You understand what I mean? Because that's the battle between the passionate coaches and the people that's just looking to make real quick money, right? This is the battle between the two. So you have the authentic coaches that's like, they care so much that these clients don't understand it. When you have too much passion, these clients run away, right? So now, if you're the one who was always thinking about money, that person may have way more clients, right? But they're not focused on the client for real. Like, for an example, if you see a lot of coaches today, they'll say, okay, you go do this, and then they're in a corner somewhere on their cell phone. They're not really in tune with the client. You know, they pretty much giving out direction, but don't check to see if the client is doing the movements properly. They're not making sure that the intensity is there. They're not checking in with their clients to see what they're doing outside of the gym. It's a lot that goes in tune with being a coach. And one of the biggest things is making sure that the mentality is constantly put into that place where they continuously want to keep coming. Because a lot of people are battling outside the gym emotionally, you know what I'm saying, with things that are going on in their life, financially with things that's going on in their life, you know, relationship stuff with their kids, the list goes on. So you have to be more than just somebody who's counting numbers. You have to be almost like a psychologist in a sense. And if you don't care about people and you care more about a dollar, then how are you going to find that?
And I think that's kind of the perfect distinction between a trainer and a coach.
Yes.
Because
that's
oftentimes...
why I hate that word trainer. Get that away from me. Get that. I'm not a trainer.
Get it away from me.
Get it away from me. I don't know what that is. They be like, oh, you're a personal trainer. What is that?
What is that?
Don't ever call me that. That's offensive.
Oh, he said, yo, them fighting words. And he got hands, so don't call him that. Do not call him that.
True story,
Yo.
man.
All right. we got to touch on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I got to
Let's do it.
because as of recent,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you in a lot more of the videos that have been coming out of Diamond Gym.
Yes.
And, you know, shout out to Diamond Gym. Shout out to everybody that's
100%.
affiliated with Diamond Gym over
Shay,
there in
Hottie,
Jersey.
man, listen, those are guys, man. Them guys is good people.
And, you know, everybody knows them for the intensity that they bring, for the collaborations that they do with
Yes.
other influencers, bringing them into their world, showing them how to train, showing them a different style of training. And just as of recent, there's just been just a little bit of, for lack of a better term, drama,
Yeah.
tension,
Controversies for sure.
controversy for sure, right? And specifically between Unc and Scala and just the brands Bitch I'd Rather Die and TTD.
Right.
What can you say about that situation without obviously creating any tension, without, you know, being a drama person or anything like that? Just what can you just tell us on that situation and why that beef kind of started?
Super short on
Of course,
that
please
aspect.
do.
I just think that it's something that could be resolved, but sometimes, you know, fame and when money gets involved, it could create a lot of, you know, tension because it brings out emotions in people.
Right.
You know, what those emotions are, only those people can talk upon it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I feel like it's something that never had to go where it's headed, honestly speaking. That's the best thing I could say on that, just to keep that short.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
So let me just touch, like I said, on your affiliation with them now, because like I said, you've recently been in a lot more videos. Every time I open up my gram, you are in Jersey, you are in Diamond Gym, you got your shirt ripped half off and you putting up heavy ass weight alongside these savages who literally this is what they do. They put in that work on a daily basis. Every video I see, and they are putting up no less than 405 on certain lifts.
Yeah.
How did you get connected with them?
Okay, so I knew Shay for about 10 years now.
And who's Shay for the people that don't know?
They call him Unc.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's Unc for everybody who don't know.
Yeah, definitely, man. So we pretty much developed a cool relationship from the beginning. He always see that I'm always like pushing people on my stories. It doesn't matter if you got a big following, a small following. I don't let social media get to me. You got something that you want to be shared, I'll share it. I don't ask for no money like some of these weirdos on social media. Right. I don't mind collabing pictures and videos with people because these weirdos on social media think that collabing is a good. Weird as fuck.
That's real talk though. Like I don't understand
people
the
let the
gatekeeping.
numbers get to their head. You have 700,000 followers. You got $20 in your bank account. I don't understand it, but we're not going to talk about.
He
that.
said the math ain't mathing.
The math is never mathing, but people really take hard to these numbers on social media. I know guys that got 1,000 followers that got millions of dollars in their account. I know guys that got 700,000. They're struggling financially. So these followers don't mean nothing if you don't know what to do with them. Sharing content is water. I don't understand why people make it so much, but it's silly. But nonetheless, Unc came to me and said, listen, for years I've watched you put people out there. I've watched you, you know, post people, show love constantly, but nobody ever does it back in return. And to answer that question that Unc had asked me, I didn't say that at the time, but it's because people are threatened by me, and I know that. I know that. When I come into the gym space, I'm the person that people may like a little bit more because I have a better performance, maybe. Maybe I'm a lot bigger. But my thing is that no matter what people idolize about you, I don't care if it's 10 other guys that people think are better than me. At the end of the day, we all help each other, you know? So the problem is everybody want to be at the forefront. They want to be the prima donna of attention. That's the problem with social media. We have a whole bunch of big grown men that's acting like women. No offense to the ladies. And they want to be girls so bad. So they want to be the center of attention. They don't want to share their followers. God forbid they share you on their page and somebody follows you off their page. It's a lot of weird energy. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
There's way more people than there are fitness guys. And fitness guys act like there's more fitness people than people out there, which is retarded. Because we know that the fitness world is only 1% of the population, so we can all win. But the problem is what people put in their head.
I want to keep it on
Good.
Diamond Gym.
Let's go.
And again, this is no drama stuff because again, I'm all about teachable moments.
All right, so this is what I do want to say.
Oh, okay.
Because I skipped this part.
Oh, okay.
Aunt came to me, said, look, this is what you do. I want to put you on a platform so people can know who you are.
There we go.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, yo, Unc, shout out to y'all. Hottie, shout out to y'all. Because I don't know Hottie from a hole in the wall. Hottie came up to me and said, bro, ever since the first day you came, I wanted you a part of my movement. I respect you. I look up to what you're doing. And I was shocked. This is a kid who has way more followers than me.
Right.
He's pumping way harder than me on social media.
Right. Yeah, his following shot up crazy.
He's not a game
I've
on
been
social
watching
media. That kid hustle
I've
hard.
been watching that for
he
sure.
busts his ass, right?
Mhm.
And for him to say that to me, I was honored, you know? So I was like, you know what? I asked him because Hottie's in charge of all of this. A lot of people don't know that. You
Well,
know?
shit, I didn't know that.
So, you know, Unc put it out there from time to time. He does do that.
Okay.
But a lot of people still don't know. So I'm saying it secondly. And I had to ask that man, even though Unc let me in and even though he opened the door based off of what Unc said, I said, listen, man, are you sure that you okay with me being here? He said, I would love you to be here. And that's been it from that day forth. So, you know, the last 2 videos they did with the Trend brothers, the Trend twins.
Twins, yep.
That was pretty dope. He did another video with Alex. I think he's one of the athletes for Young LA.
Yep.
And being in those 2 videos with them, man, it was crazy. It was epic. And, you know, I got a few followers off of it. I'm not really doing it, you know, to try to gauge followings. If it comes, great. You know, I'm really doing this because, honestly, I have a vision that's similar to theirs. And that's really like growing and building to where we could take care of our families. And that's what they're doing. And I'm motivated by that because that's what I want to do. So they're doing something that I aspire to do.
Right.
And that for me is everything.
And that's a respectable mission for sure.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
All right, so let's I'm gonna get into some talk about just life, you know, how we typically do here. What is one of the biggest lies that you think is being sold regarding self-improvement nowadays?
Oh man, self-care, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Damn.
I think
whatever that means.
Right. I think this self-care thing got taken out of context. I think it got to such the extreme that it created heavy selfishness between humans. It became something that started off as a positive thing to now being strongly divisive. Honestly speaking.
And when you say divisive, do you mean divisive in the realm of relationships or just in realm
general.
of human interaction?
Even just friendships and everything. I think that self-care turned into selfishness, self-absorbedness. I think it gave stronger narcissistic traits throughout people. Honestly. That's a word that people love using.
Oh, they love that word. Yeah, that's one of those buzzwords. Yeah, that's I was gonna say that's one of those buzzwords is you throw in a conversation to sound good. Yeah.
When you're self-indulgent, self-centered, and you begin to make things all about you, and you got to be the person that's the center of attention, people don't know that those are narcissistic traits. You know, that's why people act with social media, because they have narcissistic traits. They need to be the center. Why? That's the real question. Why? What are you going through?
What are you
going through?
Because there's usually a deeper meaning.
That you're in this space, that everything to you is a threat, and you have to victimize yourself under all circumstances, because that's what a narcissistic trait is, right? They always a victim of some type of circumstance. But anyway, that's me giving true definition we can look up on Google.
I mean, here's my thing. That is actually a response that I didn't think I was gonna get, but I think that is a response that was needed.
Absolutely.
Because that's a truth that a lot of people don't grasp.
No.
And it's hard to face.
Yes.
And especially when being told by somebody else, hey, you know this is how you're acting. Now all of a sudden you become the bad guy for pointing something out that, again, you're not trying to come at them. You're just trying to point out, hey, this might not be the best way to go about something or perceive something or, you know, rationalize something. There's a different way. But
because everything that's being done is put to the extreme. It'll start off smooth.
Right.
And it'll start off positive, and then it'll go to the extreme. It's almost like feminism, right? Feminism started off very positive. It was about women's equality, to be able to work, right? Have the same equal opportunities to have, you know, to build their own lives, which a lot of men actually voted in for the women, just in case the women don't know, right?
Very true.
And then years later, some group of women who was very bitter and they look horrible because I said their
Oh
pictures.
God! Oh, this guy here.
They became angry and felt like we should start telling women that they don't need a family household, that if you're in that kind of structure, you are a slave to a man and that you are pretty much abandoning your own life and future if you have children. And feminism became more self-absorbed and it created a lot of narcissism. And, I know that I might get shot in the foot for this, but
I was gonna say you're using the buzzwords.
but the reality is quite clear. A lot of people who follow feminism fell into a very bad place in their character. And, some people are like full-blown narcissists and don't even realize it.
Let me ask, what do you think is really keeping men and women apart when it comes to dating? Aside from the narcissism, aside from the self-absorbedness, like what is, I mean, and even aside from social media, like you don't think there's anything else outside of those, I don't want to say small factors, but just those few factors that I stated. You don't think there's anything outside of that or anything bigger in the grand scheme?
And I'm speaking to both sexes when I say this. The issue is everybody's pointing the finger at each other and nobody's pointing the finger at themselves. That's the problem.
So in an era where therapy is a big thing, mental health is a big thing, you don't think people are truly putting in the work as they say they are?
No. I've been in therapy all through my life. That's something that people that don't know, don't even know.
When you say all through your life, how long is all through your life?
I would say from childhood until adulthood now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before therapy even became a thing in the...
I was a kid when I first went to therapy. Of course, it was forced because I was acting out in school.
Yeah.
But it became a part of my life throughout the years. Like I would seek some sense of therapy if I felt like I was really crashing out. And sometimes my therapy wasn't with a psychologist. Sometimes it was at church. Being with people who are big in their faith and they walk their specific way and their walk in their belief. And, they would give, good standpoints on, these things biblically on how you heal from traumatic events and, how these things that we build within ourselves and through our trauma that becomes toxic behavior and how you can get around that and fix those things. But the first thing is, one, being able to look in the mirror and see the issues that reside inside of yourself, right? You got to see the demons that you're battling. Because if you don't, then what's going to happen is you're going to find a way to blame it on everybody else but yourself. And that's what we see, right? We see men pointing at women in their behavior. We see women pointing at men in their behavior. And nobody's saying, let me look at myself. What's so hard about that? Right? Why don't nobody want to say, yo, I have an issue? The issue could be based off your character. The issue could be based on the choices you make, the things that you're attracted to, asking yourself, why are you attracted to those things? Right? Let's be real. Because some men like abusive women and some women love abusive men. And you got to ask yourself, why do you like that? Why is it that you're attracting to that? And another thing people don't understand, because I love when I hear this shit on social media. Oh, I keep meeting these fucked up ass men or these fucked up ass women, excuse my language, but you attract who you are.
Ouch.
So if you attracting F-boys and F-girls, then you're the same. You're just mirroring. It's mirroring you. Everything that you are is what you're gaining. So you can't keep sitting here saying to yourself as a man and a woman, why I keep meeting these effed up people. The question is, why do you keep choosing them?
Yikes.
And why do they keep attracting to you? Because the laws of attraction is a very serious thing. When you start to transition from the toxic behaviors and the trauma and all of the things that you once lived in, you will start attracting people who are the complete opposite, because I'm living it right now.
That's
so every time I meet a toxic woman, it's because something in me is still toxic. I haven't fixed it yet.
Something you haven't worked on.
Right.
Yep.
So why keep getting mad at the opposite sex when I need to be looking at myself?
Truth bomb right there. Let me ask a question, because we both we're grown, we're seasoned individuals, we have our life experiences.
Right.
So, we when we speak, it's not from a space of narcissism, it's not from a space of I know everything.
Right.
It's from a space of I've been through some shit, and I don't want people to go through the same shit.
Right.
So let me tell you what I've been through, so you don't stumble across the same, the same mistakes.
Right.
What would you tell somebody who's in their 20s or their 30s right now? What would you tell them? Like, what is it that they need to hear? What is like a harsh truth that they need to know right now? Just based off everything you know, based on your self-experience, what would you tell them moving into this future? The way it is now, especially the way you see how 2025 is, like in 2024 and even let's call it the post-pandemic years. We see how things have kind of shifted. What would you tell these young men and women just moving forward in life? The harsh truth.
I think that after the pandemic, we should have seen way more unity. But for some odd reason, people still keep going the opposite route, and they're falling into all the propaganda that's sitting in front of their face. A lot of people don't realize that the things that they're seeing is distractions. They're not real. The things that are happening that are real is behind the scenes, and they're trying to keep you blinded by the things that will have you arguing and fighting and being more divisive. I think that the reality is this: be more in tune to your growth and your healing, and pursue your purpose as a young 20-something-year-old or 30-something-year-old man or woman. That doesn't mean that you have to do it by yourself. That doesn't mean that, like, I just need everybody to stop being so proud of doing things alone. It's nothing proud.
We are in a very hyper-independent world, right?
There's nothing beautiful about it. Let me tell you, when you step outside of the Black culture and you see unity for real, and everybody wonder why the Jews have all of this money and power, or why the Albanians is sitting well in their life, and the Italians, because they understand unity.
And again, I want to just kind of make this point. This is not just about relationships.
Yes.
This is about socioeconomics. This is bigger than just the household of, the African Americans. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to not get that mistaken, because a lot of people will try to take what you just said and be like, oh, why does he just think Black people are like this?
Well, I got to speak upon my people.
That's what I'm saying. You can only speak for your people.
Yes, I cannot speak for other cultures, but I could only go by what I see in other cultures.
What you see, got you.
Right,
got you.
and what I see is a strong unity base.
Okay.
And they're able to build strongly, and we hear this all through our lives. Like, united, you stand strong. Divided, you fall.
Yep.
Right? And the problem with Black people, because that's what I'm going to talk about, really. The problem with a lot of Black people is everybody's so hyped to want to say, I did it by myself.
That has become one of those things in the culture where doing it by yourself, getting it out the mud.
But you're still struggling. 6 figures don't matter no more. It's not real money anymore.
6 figures is like
you make
$100,000.
$100,000. It's like making $50,000.
Yeah.
It has no real. There's no real power to
Crazy economic times.
Now let's think about it like this. Let's see social media, like you said, going back to social media. You see couples that's making 7, 8 figures. You see these people that's making money. Nobody ever thinks to say, if I make 150, my lady makes 70,000. Together, we make 220 grand.
Let's do the math.
With this 220 grand, we could take 50,000 and invest it in properties or even Airbnbs.
Oh, yeah.
Within a 3 to 5 year radius, we could both be multi-millionaires.
Generational wealth.
But instead, they'd rather try to find a person with millions. Nobody ever thinks, do millionaires have a stamp on their forehead that says, I am stupid? Millionaires know why you're in their face. They have a great understanding of why you're so nice, and they call it kissing ass for all of you who don't know what it means. That's what rich people call it. You're kissing ass. All of that, hi, hey, oh my gosh, man, I love what you're doing. You guys are ass kissers, and that's just what it's called. And millionaires are very clear to see that quite easily, and instead of chasing somebody else's wealth, learn how to be united so that you could build your own wealth. And I think if people learn how to do that, they'll have more value. They'll see more value in each other, and they'll be more grateful for each other. And they'll really see the power in uniting versus being divisive. Until then, there's no hope.
There's no hope. Damn it. I thought we was about to end off on a positive note. But even still, I want to just...
But that's the harsh truth.
No, but that is, and again, this is Real Talk from the Rack. That's all I want to hear is the real talk. So if that is the real truth, then hey,
people are too worried about who make more and who make less. And I love that. That's why I love being a man, because we don't care.
I was going to say, sometimes people are just worried about the wrong things.
That people think about going
it's
back.
Funny.
All right, hold on. Let's say this again. Ladies, we love you.
We love you. We love you.
But
we
women
love
be
you.
Too big. And I know this is not all women, because I know a lot of Black women that support what I do. I'm not supported by white women and all these other women. I'm supported by Black women. So we're not going to say all for sure. But what I am going to say is that there are too many Black women that care too much about, I got a man who makes 70 and I'm making 150. Yo, put that money together and build something. Once y'all start game planning and putting something together, because if you have a person who has the ability to be creative, y'all could become something major. Stop looking at these numbers. These numbers are not going to help you because here's the crazy part. The 50-50 talk, right? Here's the
Oh
crazy
shit.
part. Let's talk
He
about that.
said it. He fucking said it.
Let's talk
He
about
said it. He said it.
Let's talk
Not
about
me. He said it.
Okay. So
I hate talking about it, but it's just one of those conversations that kind of dominates our culture.
when I hear this conversation, I hear people that lack intelligence. So let's talk about it from an intelligent
Likewise.
level. Okay, cool. So let's say you're a woman. You pay 100% of your bills, right? You say, I'd rather do it this way than to have somebody, because somebody's not coming in and taking care of all of it. So you'd rather have 100% of stress than to take half of that load off of you. Let's make it make sense, because let's be real. The men who make that kind of money sit between the 1% and 5%. These men are taken 9 times out of 10. Girls cry all day about not wanting to be woman number 40, but will put themselves on number 40 list. Let's make it make sense. This is crazy.
Slow down, my brother.
Listen.
But again,
This is real. You don't have
the man
to
is just
live-
speaking his truth. He's just speaking some real facts. And again,
Just because right now y'all live 50-50 doesn't mean that has to be the future.
forever. Exactly. It's not
You
a
get what I'm
forever
saying?
thing.
If
Right.
you build
Right.
enough, and I want to say this to the ladies because they don't think that this is true, and I know that men make it seem even more like it's not true,
In a possibility, right?
but
Mhm.
men take pride in who they could take care of financially.
Indeed.
A lot of men just don't make the money. So when they don't make the money, they tend to say things like, yo, I ain't taking care of no girl, but that's effeminate talk.
Yep.
Because a man who's a man,
That's a
that's
projection.
the first thing you want to do is be able to take care of your woman and your children. That is
Facts.
something that we take pride in as men. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what age you are. That's something that we all want to do.
Facts.
It's just that we all don't have the necessary opportunities, or we may not be at that place just yet. And don't compare yourself to people who got it, because you don't know what they went through to get it. You got to understand your own journey. And your own journey might take longer than others, but as long as you get there, that's all that matters, man. People got to really get out of the space of wanting to meet the rich person first, or, comparing who got it versus who don't got it. Because at the end of the day, all of y'all was broke at some point. Let's be real. Every last person that's talking that talk was broke without nothing.
And you would think the way some of us, and I'm talking about men and women, the way
Yes.
some of us talk that we came from a lap of luxury.
Seriously. Like we
And
came out of being
That
millionaires.
is, and that is just so not the case.
Broke
it's
as
so
ever.
not
That's
the
where we came
case.
from. Broke as ever.
It's just even the ones who grew up middle class,
Right.
you didn't grow up privileged to the sense where you were getting everything you wanted.
Right.
You were doing things that your parents could afford
Excuse me.
more so than other households because of whatever your household was like. But bro, you weren't just getting everything you wanted. You
No.
were still living at your means, not
100%.
beyond them.
100%.
Let me ask a question, because you said a lot today, and you said a lot of good stuff. So let's not get it twisted. You said a lot of
Thank
good
you.
stuff.
Thank you. I tried.
And there's a lot of stuff that whether people agree or disagree, this is stuff that people need to hear, because you need to hear other perspectives in order to get an idea, a better idea and better perspective of the world at mass.
Right.
So one of the questions I want to get you out of here on is, when people watch your content, Logical Sense, and see everything from dating to politics to the lifestyle fitness coaching that you do, what is it that you want? What message is it that you want people to leave with when they watch your content or your coaching sessions, whatever it is? What is the message you want them to leave with, or the feeling you want them to leave with?
I want people to, a lot of the times I'll be trying to open up people's minds to think more, to critically think more, to question things and don't just agree to everything you see, but to basically give people something that allows them to think further than what they may do on their own, right? Just giving them perspective, maybe even saying things that they may want to say, they never knew how to say it, and maybe that will give them the encouragement to do exactly that. So that would be my thing, to open up minds.
Let me ask you another one. I have a few.
No.
I thought I was going to get you out of here on that one, but
Ask away.
I think the people want some more. So what is your real talk from the rack moment? What is one of those truths that you live by, even if it will cost you?
Stand for what you believe, no matter what it costs you. No matter what it costs you. If it costs you your life, live by it. Even if it costs you your life. 100%.
That's heavy.
100%, bro. That's what I believe.
Because here's my thing. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think a lot of people are willing to die on the things they stand
That's
on.
what make us weak.
And I think I honestly, I think that's the ultimate test because we're in an era where there's a lot of posturing, where we do a lot of finger banging when it comes to the information and the thoughts we want to get out there. But are people really standing on their square? Are people really not being moved and swayed by public perception and
So
public?
let's just put it like this, not to cut you
No,
off.
yo, no, please.
Right? So let's just put it like this. Let's look at history. A lot of the times when we see things happening with the government, there was always somebody who was willing to fight and put their life on the line to make a transition, to make that different. There were slaves that fought for freedom. You know, we've seen this time and time again, and all we are really watching is history constantly repeat itself. The difference between then and now is our society has grown weaker due to worrying about how we feel all the time. Let's say there was a war, hypothetically speaking. When you see kids being trained, they're not trained to feel or be confused about their gender, right? They're exercising, they're learning hand-to-hand combat. They do not fear death, right? So if we had a war in the United States, we would surely lose. Not because we don't have the capability to win, but we have a society full of weak men and women, to be quite honest. Nobody cares about being physically in shape. Nobody cares about taking care of themselves. The first thing we hear in the street when we say, well, what if something happens where you have to protect your family? They think you could just run to a gun. They think it's that simple, right? It's a lot of unrealistic thought process upon us because they don't know what it is to be at war. They don't know what it is to fight for your life. And because people fear death, and this is something that I read in a book, and I want everybody to check this book out if they get a chance. It's called Outwitting the Devil.
Ah, that's a good one.
It was written by Napoleon Hill.
Yep.
When you read this book, the devil says, my greatest two most powerful things that I use against society is the fear of death and the fear of poverty. When you fear death or you fear not having, you will always bend to the will of man. That's it.
Shit, I think we could get you out of here on that one. Brother, man, I thank you for your time, bro. This you don't understand. I said it off camera, so I'm gonna say it on camera. This right here was everything and more that I could have expected. You came here, you dropped nothing but real talk from the rack. You dropped nothing but logical sense. You dropped nothing but truth. And nothing but just this is what it is. I'm not here to pick sides. I'm here to meet y'all in the middle and have a convo.
Yeah.
And whether you want to do that or not is totally on you, but don't come and talk about my side if you're not willing to talk it out.
Right.
And that's simple what it is.
Because I ignore everybody who comes with that slander.
As you should.
I ignore everybody. If you pay attention to anything that I put up that's controversial, when people start talking crazy, I'll just let them fight each other. If you notice, I never fight with nobody.
I was going to say, I really don't see you in the comments too much.
I'm not doing that.
Even in the comments of your own shit. You're not even in the comments.
I'm not doing that.
You just sitting there watching with your popcorn.
Fight for me. I'm like, oh, look at this. This is entertaining.
He's sitting there like Sting from the rafters.
Right. Maybe once in a blue, I'll say something back, and then if I realize the person is not really trying to gain a perspective, they just want kind of like clout, they want to be seen, then I just ignore them. Because I understand social media. Sometimes people argue on your page so that they could get your followers to see them and maybe they'll catch a few followers.
Yeah, that's algorithm. That's algorithm talk right there.
That's cute when you guys try it. It doesn't work though.
That's cute.
I'm not affected by anything that comes with social media talks and threats. I think that everybody could be a tough person behind the internet. When you see people in person, that's when you get to see who they truly are. So I don't let any of the rhetoric get to me on social media. I just enjoy the entertainment.
As you should, because social media, as much as it is a business and a business aspect and business model, it is definitely a lot of entertainment attached to it.
People make it personal.
And we need to stop blurring the lines of what is entertainment.
They make it about their real life.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Brother, tell me what is next for Logical Sense. What you got coming up, man?
The focus is just growing and building in the fitness industry. I am on a spiritual journey. That's something I'm going to keep to myself right now.
As you should.
But a lot of things occurred in my life from last year to this year. I think God is really telling me I need to change my life in a lot of ways. I'm just not ready, to be honest. A lot of things I'm afraid of when it comes to like, what does this look like if I take this real step? You know, will I fulfill the purpose of it? Will I fail at it? And you know, I'm not supposed to think about that because in what I believe is faith is supposed to overpower all of worry, everything.
Oh
You
yeah,
really trust
faith
God.
and fear don't mix.
No, they don't mix. You know, so I know that's where I'm messing up at, right? I have a lot of other challenges in my life. I battle with sexual immorality, you know, a lot. Something that people don't like to talk about, but it's something that's very serious. I'm a promiscuous man, you know, so I deal with a lot of things internally. I'm very upfront and honest about it. For the first time in my life, I've fasted this year.
Damn, for the first time in your life.
In my life, you know.
And I ain't gonna age you, but this grown man right here. This is a grown man right here.
When I did the fast, I experienced things that I can't even explain on camera. It was a short fast. It was 2 weeks. But in that 2 weeks, I experienced something I've never experienced in my life. And I'm afraid of what that is. I'm going to be honest with you. I am truly afraid because when you go to make a step to living on a straight line, if that's what we like to call it, it comes with so much more challenges from the opposition. The more you try to walk straight, the harder life becomes.
Oh, the devil start trying to, he on your line even heavier.
So,
like, yo, why you not answering, bro? What's up?
Sometimes it's easier, and I hate to say this, to sit as a sinner because we live in a place of comfort under sin. But we all know that deep down inside, in order to truly grow is to be in a place of discomfort, right? I heard something not too long ago on social media, and it was something around like, when we ask God for things, he give us pain. And the reason for the pain is so that it creates new growth, right? And a lot of times when we pray, we think it's supposed to come with no pain. But if we had no pain, then we would never learn. So pain is a must. And I think that fitness flows in the same area. When you learn how to deal with pain physically, it takes a certain mental capacity to be able to take that pain, right? So I think when I see people in the gym, I see who's weak-minded and I see who's strong-minded by the way they train, right? Because the person who endures more and more pain, they could deal with life differently, more powerfully than the average person. Look at the average person in the gym. The minute that they feel pain, I can't do this no more. I gotta go. It hurt too much. This is then you can't really deal with life, right? That's how I see it, right? This is my opinion. So the more I see a person endure physically shows me how strong they are mentally. You know, so I think it all kind of flows together. And I think that's why, like, when I look at my life and I say, I hated what I went through. And there was times where I asked God, and I'm sure many people feel the same way in their lives, right? You ask that why. You keep looking for this why. But then notice that whatever you've been through, you start to meet people that have been through the same thing. And for some reason, you got the answer that they don't have that you should look for. So the pain that you going through is so that you could teach somebody else how to get around it when you see somebody else going through it. And I really believe that's the purpose because, see, we chose a life that was outside of the rules of God, right? And the punishment for that decision of sin was for us to feel the pain of it. It's called consequence. So now in these consequences, in order for us to grow closer to the Spirit, we have to understand the why without asking it. We're not supposed to question God, right? So now you got to figure it out. And when you start to talk to people, because a lot of us, when we go through pain, instead of talking to people, we kind of do the reverse. We kind of like push people out.
Right. We talk at them.
We start hating people.
Right.
Right. But when you look at it from a more optimistic view, you say, okay, I went through this because maybe I was supposed to help people. I look at everything I do in my life. Why am I a coach? For what?
Right.
Why? I never even had a dream or vision to be a coach ever in life. Why did this happen this way? It had to have been a reason. So if I'm here to help people grow physically, and I'm here to help them grow mentally through exercise and how to be in the fitness world, then the pain that I went through in my life was to help others who face similar, if not the same things. And I have an answer for everybody who I come across, which is crazy work.
Yo.
And that comes from me being a person who seems to meet people that whatever they face for some odd reason, I face the same things. And I want to share something more deeper. I'm going to come in a little bit harder on this. I'm going to be vulnerable with the audience. When I was a kid, I was touched by men, right? This is something that nobody would put out there.
Yeah, not,
right?
not
Especially
a lot
a
of people.
man.
Right.
And there was a time where I grew up asking myself which way I should go, right? And this is real talk. And it really, not only did it mess me up, but this is where the promiscuous behavior, the sexual immorality, this is when it was born, in this moment, right? And it's like, we don't want to talk about the things that traumatically messed us up. We rather talk about the things that we know people are going to highlight. We don't want we don't want to say the things that we feel people are going to bash and judge us on. But you know what? It goes back to what I said in the beginning. I don't really care what nobody thinks. You call me what you want to call me, say what you want to say. I don't care, bro. Because the same way somebody's bashing me for what I just said right now, there's somebody right now that's going to say, yo, I was touched too. Damn, yo, he had the heart to say that? I want to talk to that guy. And maybe I can help him get through it. So if that's what it could do, then that's why I don't care to share it. Because for each person you reach can make a difference in the world. All you got to do is touch one person. That's it.
Brother man, I appreciate you. And that right there was some real talk from the rack.
Yes, sir.
And as always, y'all, thank you for joining me and keep it generational.
100%, man. Thank you.